My name is Amit, and I'm here to talk about product roadmap and planning. So what's the purpose of a roadmap? Let's think about it. The main goal of a roadmap is to effectively communicate the product vision that engages and aligns with external stakeholders. These are your customers, partners, and probably somebody you want to collaborate with outside your company. Internal stakeholders. Obviously, these are your execs, but these are also solution teams, go-to-market team, but also dependent product teams. Why I want to highlight that is because sometimes you might be in an enterprise company or building an application on top of a platform. So you need those underlying dependent product teams, your peers, you should be aligned with them. And finally, investments. We all need investments to make products. So you need to align those investments both within your product portfolio and also across product lines because you're dependent on other products to deliver those features for you. So that's the main purpose of a roadmap. As we build roadmap, important is what do you consider into the roadmap planning? What should your thoughts be and what should be important for you to know about? I think of it as 4 key boxes, basically. First thing, what should you double down on? Which means what you should incrementally and invest more in it. An example could be you want to deepen a certain feature, or you want to focus on increasing your adoption in a certain market, certain user profile, or certain feature set. So you will invest on those areas. The next question you have to ask is, as you build those features, are you going to enhance that existing product that you have as a base product, or you will offer it as an add-on premium feature? So to decide that, you might want to think, is this feature needed by all segments that I'm serving? Is it an incremental value for a net new customer base, or it is perceived that customers expect that value to be there in the product? An example could be, we see these days base version, premium version, and you see those add-ons being given to you in the consumer world. And the same thing happens in an enterprise world. The third question is, do you want to open new segments? And new segments I mean by 2 vectors. Either you're going new sectors, as I come from healthcare, the idea could be that you are right now serving for provider business and you want to go to health plans or pharmaceuticals. Similar thing can apply in financial services. You might say, I'm operating in retail banking and I want to go into wealth management. So that's a new sector. Do you want to go into new sectors? The other question could be, do you want to open new geographies? Example, you might be America-based. You might want to go to Europe or the reverse. So how do you decide what features will enable you to be in those new geographies? Some examples that come to light is compliance. And different countries have different compliance regulations. So you might want to think about that. And finally, very important is what you should stop doing. It's a very important piece sometimes we forget. And we should think about either the features have not been adopted, that should be probably we should remove them, or it's a tech debt that we've been carrying for quite some time. There's a better way to do things, a scalable way to do things. So we should end of life those features. So with that in mind, let's tie it back to how you arrive at here, because if you just jump into product roadmap thinking, you might miss the bigger picture. So when I look at roadmaps, how I think about it is you have to have the product's North Star, as you call it, the vision of the product, basically. Where do you want to be? Within that vision will arrive a number of themes that you might want to talk about. So vision could be a big North Star. Themes are multiple Lego blocks, jobs to be done, or business problems to be solved for achieving that vision. And within each of those themes, you will have several features that will deliver those themes. And that's how you start thinking about how to build and bring this cohesively together so that the end customer sees value not only currently or today, what they're buying with you or from you, but also where you're going so that they understand that when they're buying a software from you today, you have a vision and that vision aligns with them where they want to be, and at least see that journey and be with you to achieve those business goals. So let's double click. We all understand the vision, but let's talk about what is this themes and feature concept. The way I think about it is you should build a roadmap around themes, not features. And what does that mean? Features are a small set of functionality that you can think of, but they change over a period of time. but themes are long-term trends and jobs to be done that you're expecting to deliver for that business value. And themes basically drive that long-term vision around what you were trying to as a North Star, but multiple features in them that lead to that achieving that theme. So we'll dive a little bit deeper into them. So let's try to see what it means, and then we'll take an example to understand the vision, the theme, and the features. What is a theme? Theme can be defined as jobs to be done. Take an example of a business challenge in healthcare. We all know. We all are customers of healthcare. We all are patients at some point in time. We want to deliver, let's say, care anywhere. So you can meet a doctor anywhere you want. So that's a business challenge, because now if you look at communities that are in rural area in America, they do not have access to pharmacists. They do not have access to behavioral health therapists. They might not have access to urgent care centers. So you are trying to solve that care anywhere as a problem so that they can see the doctor where they are. Now, this theme is very easy to market and understand because you can talk about it to any non-healthcare person too, and they will really relate to it. And it's a multi-release and multiple features underneath it because it's not just one thing, which we'll talk about it. If you were to build your roadmap just concentrating on features, not this big theme, you might end up missing that big picture. You might just focus on one feature and deliver it best, missing out on the bigger story to solve. And also you will not be able to think that, should I be building this feature or should I be partnering for this feature? Because there are ways that you can achieve the theme or the business goal by building, partnering, and bringing things together so that end customer has the features that you are looking for to solve that business problem. And finally, when you're building your features and that way you're building your roadmap, you tend to over-index on the core capabilities that you have as a company. So you might not be able to think outside the box because you're just thinking the feature that you're talking about and delivering that. With that, let's look at as an example. And I come from healthcare, so I want to take that example that's near to my heart. Vision in our case could be to improve access to care for anybody, anywhere. That's our vision. That's a North Star we want to. And under that, there are several themes that we can talk about. One example is it's a place. It's access to care means I can have care anywhere, whether it's virtual or in person, near to my home, at home, in a clinic. So that could be care anywhere as a theme, and we'll talk about it. Access to care has big things around process automation. Why that? Because access to care not only means that I get the care, but I get the care at the right time and the right place. And today in healthcare, there are a lot of gaps and a lot of silos where the paperwork has to move in different silos and different people. People have to pick up, answer calls. How can you automate that process, which will reduce the time to provide care and ultimately getting to your vision of improving access to care? Within those themes, if I go and look at the features, you might say to provide care anywhere, I'll open urgent care centers in rural America as an example. You might say I'll do virtual visits. You might think of offering messages with providers or even messages chatbots, smart AI. You might want to do appointment management. And access to care, the biggest blocker is financial sometimes. And so you might want to offer financial assistance. So as you look at this, you might see that there's a vision, a theme, and features. Some features you will build, and some features you might want to partner because let's say you're not a credit card company, you're not a company that provides financial assistance, but you will bring your partners into that system so that a consumer can have access to care by having that financial assistance offered through your partner on your platform. So that allows you to think out of the box because your ultimate vision is to improve access to care and the theme is care anywhere. With that, if we look at now bringing all this together with the same vision, and if I take the two themes that we discussed, care anywhere and process automation, you can build your roadmap multi-release and picking up features that take you slowly to fulfill that theme, which ultimately gets you to the vision of providing access to care or improving access to care in healthcare. So that's what I think is a way for us to tie vision, theme, and product features together and bring a roadmap that is consistent, organically built, but also it is, think of it as a little more persistent in time because you're based on themes which are a little bit longer duration than compared to features which are very micro setting in that kind of environment. Thanks a lot for listening to me. If any of you have any questions, I'm happy to be here in the Q&A session and looking forward to talking with you.